What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the AM, guys. Welcome back to 5 Minute Rants. I'm your host, Michael Abernathy, and welcome back to the show predicated on the journey of life and business. Well, everybody, I'm just going to get straight into it today. So my wife and I, we were hanging out the other day, and just to give you some background, my wife loves taking care of plants. And she loves, succulents and things like that and taking care of them. And we are talking about plants, and we were in the store and she's just walking by. She's like, oh, look at all these new plants. And the point of this is, as we were driving away from the store, I told her, every time you buy a new plant, you buy yourself work. And she just goes, oh my gosh, it's so true. And I really actually wanted to talk about this and share this with y'all, because it's not just physical purchases that are buying work, and you can buy work, which is an interesting concept in and of itself, but it's all the decisions that we make on a daily basis that are actually purchasing work for ourselves. So if my goal is freedom, if my goal is financial freedom, if that's one of the goals in my life, every time I decide not to work towards that goal or that purpose today, every time I don't take a step, I'm actually buying work later on in the form of debt. And it actually is debt in terms of effort. It's debt in terms of production. It's debt in terms of forward momentum. And then sooner or later, that debt will come calling in my life. And so every decision that I make, I'm buying myself work. If I decide to come up and to actually show up where I need to and produce when I need to, that decision is the decision to purchase with my time work in that moment. I'm going to actually buy work, and I'm going to do the work, and then I'm going to actually accomplish the work. And so if you think of work as transactional, what am I doing? What work am I doing today that actually is going to allow me to have freedom tomorrow? Or what am I doing today that is going to force more work on me later in life, or more unintended consequences down the road? And you can do this with money too. Oftentimes we'll buy things and we actually don't think we're buying work. For instance, you can buy some property, you can buy a house. Oftentimes when people buy houses, they don't even think about the work required for upkeep, maintenance, repairs, and they didn't think that they bought themselves work. They thought they bought themselves property, and they bought themselves something that, is an asset. And we can get into that later, because it's not. We can define what that is later. But the point of what I'm saying is, oftentimes when we make decisions, we don't consider and we don't include whether it's actual purchasing of work or purchasing of effort and energy expended in order to do whatever I'm deciding to do. And you can actually buy work with money, but oftentimes this just carries over into your everyday decisions. And when you're sitting there about to make a decision, you got to go through what it's going to cost you. You have to go through what is it going to cost you if you do this right now? What is it going to cost you if you don't do this? And is this even something worthwhile doing? And whether we like it or not, we actually say no to more things than we say yes to. And for some reason, as people, we have an aversion saying no. We have an aversion to no. We have an aversion to saying no. We believe no is negative. A lot of that, in my opinion, has to do with how we're raised and different things like that. But the point of what I'm trying to say is this. It's so important to actually measure your decisions that you're making on the day to day. Measure the decisions that you're actually choosing to go down the path with, in terms of work, in terms of production, in terms of where your goals and purposes are at, and whether you're actually making decisions that are going to hurt you or cause you to have more work later on down the road. For instance, I was making bacon and in the kitchen, and somebody said, hey, you know what? I want some bacon too, but I'd already started washing the pan, and they actually asked if I could just leave the pan for them to make bacon too. And this really happened. And I just said, it's so interesting, because if you just asked me to make you bacon earlier, I wouldn't have started washing the pan, and now you're just throwing away my work because you decided to ask too late. And so they bought more work. They ended up having to wash the pan, and that decision cost them, because I could have made them bacon plus wash the pan for them. And that decision caused them to buy them more work, because they ended up making their own bacon, and then they ended up washing the pan. Interesting thought. Anyways, guys, I am out of time, so I'll catch y'all later. Peace.